Most people are terrified of silence, not because silence is loud, but because it forces them to hear themselves. The moment the noise fades, the phone is set down, the television goes dark, and the distractions disappear, something unsettling begins to rise. Thoughts, regrets, doubts, unresolved emotions, and so they run back to noise, back to stimulation, back to anything that prevents them from sitting alone with their own mind. But there is another way to live. There is a way to sit in a quiet room and feel whole, to walk alone and feel complete, to wake before the world and feel powerful instead of empty. The difference between solitude and loneliness is not the presence of other people. It is the presence of self-mastery. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Most people never discover this retreat. We must. The art of being alone without feeling lonely is not natural. It is trained. It is forged. And most fail at it because they try to escape themselves instead of strengthening themselves. What follows is not comfort. It is discipline. But through discipline comes freedom. 1. We begin by reclaiming the morning. Each morning, before the world reaches for us, we must reach inward. This is where the battle is won. If we wake and immediately search for distraction, we signal weakness to our own mind. We teach ourselves that silence is something to be avoided. But if we wake and sit still, even for a few minutes, we begin to rebuild authority over our inner world. Epictetus warned that we are disturbed not by events but by our judgments about them. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the judgment that we should have people, that something is missing, that our worth depends on external presence. In the quiet of the morning, we challenge that judgment. We sit with our thoughts without reacting to them. If insecurity appears, we observe it. If longing appears, we observe it. We do not chase it. We do not suppress it. We train ourselves to see that emotions are visitors, not rulers. This practice is uncomfortable at first. The mind rebels. It craves stimulation like a body craves sugar. But just as the body becomes lean through discipline, the mind becomes resilient through stillness. We begin to realize that peace is not something given. It is constructed. And when the world finally demands our attention, we meet it grounded, not desperate, not searching, rooted. 2. We learn to separate solitude from rejection. Loneliness often disguises itself as abandonment. We sit alone and the mind whispers, "No one chose you." But this is an illusion constructed by ego. Solitude is not rejection, it is space. And space can either suffocate us or strengthen us depending on how we interpret it. Seneca wrote, "He who is content with himself needs nothing." Most people read that and assume it is indifference. It is not. It is sovereignty. When we depend on others to validate our existence, we hand over our stability to forces we cannot control. We must confront the uncomfortable truth. Many seek company not for connection, but for reassurance. They want noise to drown out insecurity. They want constant interaction to prove they matter. But if our worth rises and falls with external attention, we will never feel steady. Solitude becomes powerful when we stop asking it to confirm our value. Instead, we use it to build it. We develop skills. We strengthen the body. We sharpen the mind. We cultivate virtue. Alone time becomes training time. And slowly, the narrative changes. We are not alone because we are unwanted. We are alone because we are building something that cannot be shaken. 3. We discipline the inner dialogue. The greatest source of loneliness is not isolation. It is hostile self-talk. When we are alone, there is no one else to distract us from our own commentary. If that commentary is cruel, judgmental, or desperate, solitude becomes unbearable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When loneliness creeps in, it is often because we have allowed the mind to run unchallenged narratives. You're behind. You're not enough. Others are happier. These are impressions, not truths. We must learn to interrogate these impressions. Where is the evidence? Is this thought useful? Is it aligned with virtue? If not, it is dismissed. Not suppressed, dismissed. We do not argue endlessly with destructive thoughts. We strip them of authority. In solitude, we practice becoming our own ally. We speak to ourselves as a disciplined mentor would, firm, honest, but not cruel. We correct weakness without shaming ourselves for having it. This internal stability transforms isolation into reflection. And when the inner voice becomes steady, silence no longer feels like an enemy. It feels like clarity. 4. We build a life that does not beg for witnesses. Many people feel lonely because their actions are performative. They live for applause. Remove the audience, and the motivation collapses. But if our actions are rooted in principle rather than praise, solitude cannot strip them of meaning. Ask yourself, would you still train if no one saw the results? Would you still read if no one praised your intellect? Would you still work toward mastery if no one clapped at the finish line? If the answer is no, then loneliness will always haunt you. The disciplined life is not dependent on spectators. It is dependent on integrity. We act because it is right, because it strengthens us, because it aligns with our character. When our purpose is internal, being alone becomes efficient rather than empty. Time stretches, focus sharpens, energy consolidates. We are no longer divided between self-improvement and social performance. And something remarkable happens. When we no longer need to be seen, we become formidable. 5. We accept that emotions will visit, but they do not rule. Even the strongest mind will feel waves of longing. We are human. To deny that would be arrogance, but strength is not the absence of emotion. It is the refusal to be governed by it. There will be nights when the silence feels heavy, moments when comparison creeps in, instances when the world appears to be celebrating without us. In those moments, we do not dramatize the feeling. We observe it. We breathe through it. We remind ourselves that it is temporary. Epictetus taught that endurance is trained by small discomforts. Each time we sit with loneliness without escaping into distraction, we expand our capacity. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. What once felt overwhelming becomes instructional. We learn that the feeling of loneliness does not define us. It is weather passing through consciousness. It does not command action. It does not dictate identity. And eventually, solitude feels different. Not empty, spacious. To be alone without feeling lonely is to reach a rare level of internal order. It means we have stopped demanding that the world constantly confirm our existence. It means we have cultivated depth rather than dependency. It means we can sit in a silent room and feel strength instead of fear. Most people fail at this because they chase noise instead of mastery. But we choose differently. We wake early, we discipline the mind, we challenge destructive narratives, we build without applause, we endure emotional weather without surrendering to it. And in doing so, we discover that solitude is not a void. It is a forge.